Welcome to Static Stretching with your host John here. We're going to go through our leg day dominant stretch, and it's going to have upper body, so don't worry. So again, I slowed this video down a lot because I wanted to increase the time we were taking. Remember, with static, you want a little bit longer. Let me emphasize it this week especially. It's about 30 plus seconds is our goal for each stretch. So we're going to start on the ground. Feet together. Keep your feet flat. Knees together too, and we're going to tuck our head down and push down, leaning all the way into our toes, keeping our head close. Notice I'm engaging my whole body. I'm using the floor in this case rather than a standing one because it allows you to go a little bit deeper, really hit the hamstrings, especially that lower back, that glute stretch. So we're going to go a little bit farther with this one. We're going to tuck our foot inwards, taking our right foot, bringing it in, and we're going to do it just one-sided now, focusing on only the left side at a slightly different angle. Notice again, my knees facing up, my toes facing up. I tuck my head down. My leg is, let me say it, straight. Do not bend those legs. It doesn't matter if you touch your toes. If you can't touch your toes and you're bending your knees, you're not helping yourself. Spend the extra second to just keep your legs straight and slowly lean into it. Also, remember, no ballistic stretching. We do not bounce in our stretches. We hold them. We exhale as we push further. Inhale consistently. Try to have a nice rhythmatic breathing. So going to the other side. Keeping my leg inwards, leg is straight, tucking my head down, my toes are up, and I'm leaning into it, really getting that deep, deep, deep stretch, focused on my breathing and my control. Little puppy motivation stretches in there as well too. Alrighty, moving on. We are gonna go into butterfly next. Feet together. I'm going to pull them as close to my body as I can, and then I'm going to drive my knees to the floor, sitting upright. I am not slouching, and if you want to add a little bit more to that, pull up on your toes and lean forwards with your chest, but once again, watch how I don't do it. I don't arc my back. I keep it upright, and that's going to get a little bit deeper into the glutes and hips as well, and once again, don't let your knees come in. You want to drive them to the floor. Focus on that breathing, that deep exhale as you do it. Nice and long. Remember, we're holding it. Since we don't have a shorter lunch break, sure you can get away with a little bit more stretching. If you feel like you're sitting for longer than a few hours, go ahead and stretch. Get up, move, don't let the blood clot. So next one we're going to do is we're going to take our right leg, we're going to throw it on top of our left one, and we're going to twist over the same side. So if I'm looking over my right, or my right leg's over my left, I'm looking over my right shoulder. But I don't just twist with my body, I look over entirely with my head, back, everything. Neck is all included. Twisting my legs across to the left while my body goes to the right. We're going to switch it up. What we do on one side, we always do to the other. Take that leg. Actually, I'm sorry, before we do that, we're going to go into a transition where we're going to do a hip flexor. So there's two versions. The one I did right here, which is the harder one, is where you grab your ankle and pull it straight towards your face, and your knee will follow through. Now, if you want to do a little bit easier, just pull your knee into your chest, or the hardest is to do both if you really have that internal rotation and that flexibility in the glutes. This is one of the best glute stretches as well, and it works so good on that internal rotation, which FYI, guys, we lack a lot of. So if you squat and your knees like to go out wide, there's a good reason you're probably not doing this stretch. So now we're going to do what we did on the other side. In this case, a little bit of motivation, the sunshine as well. We're going to throw our leg over the other one. We're going to twist our leg across our body. So notice I'm using my elbow and my right arm to push my leg across my body. In this case, my left leg over my right, pushing it farther. And then I twist my core, my head, my back, everything opposite directions. So I am a big corkscrew here. Nice, good hold. This one really gets some vertebrae to crack if you do it right. Big twist, probably one of my favorites for relieving, again, especially some of that back tension. Going back, got to do the glutes. And that internal rotation, pull that foot to the face, that knee if you want, or do both and really manually manipulate it. If you want to make it harder, your knee should go forwards while your ankle comes towards you, and that'll give a deeper rotation to your hip. Deep, deep hold. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. And release. Alrighty, we're gonna flip on over to our bellies and we're gonna hit that cobra stretch to really get those abs, that lower back, a nice deep stretch. So for this one, I want you to glue your hips to the floor. Do not let them come up at any reason. The only thing that's gonna come up is your core. You're gonna walk it up with your hands, stretching out your arms and pushing up, keeping the hips forwards. Head is up, nice deep ab stretch. You'll really feel this one, nice good one. Use that gravity, that weight with you on this case. We're gonna walk it back, going into a calf stretch. So bring it on up, get the butt stretched high in the air, take one foot, put it on top of the other one to put some weight to it, and glue that foot that is on the floor so your ankle is down. You wanna be as flat-footed as possible, so you have to adjust your height to your butt or your knee. That's fine. You want your leg straight if possible, but you want that ankle flat as possible against the ground. So you'll see I'll tuck it over first, and then I'll try to glue that foot flat and then lean into it. Really getting a nice deep calf stretch going on. Make it even, both sides. Got Callie over here getting a stretch in with me as well. And we're gonna walk it on up, walk it on up, walk it on up, walk it on up. If you can't do that as well, you can also bend your knees a little bit. It'll get you a little bit less of a hamstring stretch, functional as that goes. But then I go straight into that back stretch. Nice easy transition. Arcing my back up, hands close to my body, rolling it and squeezing it, following it through all the way up, pushing my hips forwards and leaning back ever so slightly, but I'm allowing my hips and my knees to come forwards to kind of keep my balance. And I bring it back on up and I rotate it around. So that is all my lower body. It is time to hit a little bit of upper body. Now we're gonna focus again, pulling our back into the equation, doing a little bit farther because I brought my hands down to give some support, pushing my hips forwards. I'm gonna take my right arm, pull it on back, do the cow stretch. Get that tricep, that shoulder, everything in there as well. Really manually manipulate it, push it on back, get a good hold, squeeze it as you breathe in continuously in a nice rhythmatic motion. Gonna switch it up. Remember, if you want a little bit harder of a challenge, you can always try to grab your hand on that bottom side and hold it on in, really pull it back. Alrighty, going into a cross-body arm. This one's gonna really hit the shoulder. Once again, you wanna have good support to your body. You wanna have your head upright, your core is engaged, and you're gonna pull your arm across. Do it to the other side, keeping your arm straight. Make sure you don't twist with your body. If you do twist a little bit, it's only allowing your shoulder to come forwards, but not your core to twist. Notice my hips are parallel to my shoulder. See how I kind of readjusted here, right? They're parallel, I'm not twisting with it as well. This one's a little hard one, it's a little bit more functional. You want to try to glue your hands together and keep your elbows together especially as well. As you drive your hands to the surface, glue them in. It's going to be a little bit harder. They're going to want to separate from your elbows out. Do everything you can to squeeze those elbows together, going as high as you can, and then slowly driving those elbows into the ground. Next, again, going back on up, taking our time, driving it slowly up, pushing it up as high as you can, gluing everything together. You'll feel a good shoulder stretch in here, especially anteriorly, and then driving it all the way back on down. If you have a band, you can also put a band around your arms here. It kind of helps it pull them in, and then you have a little bit more of that deep rotator in there as well too. Nice and fluid, controlling it. Slowly up, slowly down, and only go as high as you can before it starts to separate it, and that's what you want to kind of push as that flexibility factor. Rolling the shoulders back and squeezing them up, back and down, going all the directions, and then I'm going to add some rotation, a little bit more core in here as well, get the obliques, get the hips. When I do my rotation, notice my elbows come up, I drive them so that my elbows go all directions. I'm facing every wall if possible. And I'm including my hips in the equation too. And that is it, guys. Definitely a leg dominant stretch. We got a little bit of upper body in there as well too. Full body to say the whole, static as well. Get a little bit of dance moves in there. Wiggle it out, shake it out, and have a fantastic